Hello everyone, my name is Yunus Mahmoud. I'm a tutor at YM So in today's topic, we're going to be going through one of the harder topics, which is topic number 7, which is volume. So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to calculate the volume and capacity of cubes and cuboids. You should be able to use 1 centimeter cube blocks to work out the volume of cubes and cuboids, work out the depth, length, width of cubes and cuboids when the volume is given, and you should be able to work out the surface areas of cubes and cuboids, work out the volumes of prisms and cylinders, and as well as being able to work out the surface areas of spheres, pyramids, cones, and composite solids, and also be able to identify the properties of faces, surface, edges, and vertices of cubes, cuboids, prisms, cylinders, and pyramids, cones, and spheres. Okay, so let's go over question 1. So question 1 asks, work out the volume and the surface area of the cuboid below. So let's start off by working out the volume of this cuboid. So to work out the volume, essentially what you have to do is you have to multiply the width times the height times the length. So the width of the shape is 4 centimeters, times it by the height of 3, and times it by the length of 7. So 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 7 is 84. Stick in the units, centimeters cubed. And so let me put that in as my final answer, 84 centimeters cubed. Okay, so let's work out the surface area of the cuboid. So the surface area is essentially the total area of the surface of a three-dimensional object. So in this case, we have a cuboid. A cuboid has 6 faces. So what we're going to do is we're going to work out the area of every single face. So we've got 1, 2, 3, another one at the back, 4, another one at the bottom, 5, another one at the side, which is 6. So 6 faces. Work out the area, add them up together, and that should give us the surface area. Okay, so there's quite a different few ways of doing this. But my favorite way of doing it is by working out the areas of the faces that we can already see, and then we're going to multiply them by 2, because we know that face number 1 has the same face as the one on the side at the back that we can't see, and we know that face number 3 has the same area as the one at the side here. And number 2's face is exactly the same as the face at the bottom of this cuboid. Okay, so let's do this in turn. So step 1 is work out the areas of the faces we can see. So face number 1 is 3 times 4, which is 12. Area of face 2 is 7 times 4, which is equals to 28. And lastly, the area of face 3 is 7 times 3. So 7 times 3 is equals to 21. Okay, so as established, we know that face 1 has the exact same area as the face on the other side. So we're essentially going to multiply that by 2. And similarly with face 2, it has the same area as the face at the bottom. So we can times that by 2. And then face 3, it has the area of the face on this side, which we can't see. So we're going to multiply that by 2 as well. So then we're going to do 12 times 2, which is 24. 28 times 2 is 56. Lastly, 21 times 2 is equals to 42. Now we're going to add all them together, and that should give us the surface area of the cuboid. So 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. Put the 2 down, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So the total surface area of the cuboid is 122 centimeters. So don't forget the units. Okay, so let's go over question 2. So question 2 asks, work out the volume of the triangular prism below. So to work out the volume of the triangular prism, essentially what you have to do is you're going to have to work out the area of the triangle, or otherwise known as the area of the cross section, and multiply that by the, so let me just write down the formula. So volume is equals to area of the cross section, which is the triangle, and times that by the length. So the area of the triangle is obviously 4 times 3, which is 12, divided by 2, which is 6, times that by the length, which is 7. So your final answer is 42 feet cubed. So 42 feet cubed. Okay, so let's go over question 3. So question 3 asks, work out the volume of the cylinder below. So to work out the volume of a cylinder, you're going to have to memorize this following formula, which is volume is equals to pi r squared h. Okay, so pi, if you hit down your calculator, it will give you something like 3.142. R is the radius. So the radius is basically the distance from the middle of the circle to the end, to the side, which is the circumference. And h is equals to the height of the shape. Okay, so let's just plug all those information into the formula, and we should find the volume of the cylinder. So let's just put the pi in. So r squared, so r is equals to 2 squared times 4. So keep the pi down. So 4 squared is 4, and 4 times 4 is equals to 16. So your final answer is 16 pi. Or what you can do is you can do 16 times 3.14. So 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. Put imaginary 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Add those two together. So 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 8, 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. Put the 0 down, carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 5. And move to decimal point. So you can have 4.24. So two different answers. If you were to do a non-calculated paper, it's fine just to leave your answer as 16 pi. But then if you were to do a calculator paper, you would be expected just to put that into your calculator and find your answer to the nearest maybe 2 or 3 decimal places. Okay, but don't forget to add in the units. So 16 pi inches cubed. Okay, so let's go over question number 4. So question 4 asks, work out the volume of the sphere below. So to work out the volume of the sphere, you're going to have to memorize this formula, which is volume is equals to 4 over 3 times pi times r cubed. Right? So 4 over 3 times pi times 6 over 3. Okay, so 6 cubed is 216 times pi times 4 over 3. Okay, so this might get a little bit messy. So what I'm going to do on the side is I'm going to work out 4 over 3 times 2 over 16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 over 16 divided by 3. So 216 over 3. So how many 3's goes into 21? It's 7. How many 3's goes into 6 is 2, so it's 72. And then I'm going to do 72 times 4, which is 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 7 is 28, so it's 288. So instead of writing 4 over 3 on that side, and 216. I'm just going to replace that by 288 pi followed by the units meters cubed.